nicely mixed. All right. What's up, guys? My name is Emmanuel, and this is Multi Shopping YouTube channel. Today's video is also very, very important. Why? We are coming to use this machine here, Fufu Machine, but this is silver Crest Fufu Machine. If you're in Nigeria or any other place aside Ghana, normally you call it yam pounder. Oh, are you getting it? Yes. So we are going to use this machine. We have other videos where we have showed you how to use this machine. We have done fufu from start to finish. If you haven't watched that, you can check out there. We'll put a link there for you to watch. Okay, but that one was about 2 years ago. This is 2023, and people need to have a review of how to use this machine. So I'm going to take my time to take you through. But the difference between this and then the other one is that this one has 3 buttons. This one has 3 buttons. So how do you use this machine to do your fufu from start to finish? This is Silver Crest Fufu Machine. If you are outside Ghana and you don't use the term fufu, you can say yam pounder. All right. So I'm going to use this machine to show you how to use it to do your fufu. So stay with me. Don't skip anything. Okay. Don't be in a haste to skip anything. Stay with me. Take your time and watch to the end so I can fully understand how to use this machine. All right. Now, before I'll go on, this is the box that the machine comes with. This video is not an unboxing video, all right, but I'll just show you. So this is a box that it comes with. It is 3,500 watts. 3,500 watts. Now, when you take it from the box, let me set it up for you. You see this black thing here? It is meant for you to put the base on. So you set it up like this and put the base on it. As simple as that. Okay? So it doesn't matter where you do it. It has some knots down here. What it means is that when you put it on the floor, it will grip a little bit for you. Okay, so that's what you use the black to do. This is the blade. The blade comes in this form. All right, so you have to set it up. The blade is extremely sharp. Okay, the purpose of this video is to take you through how to pound the fufu, how to use the fufu from start to finish. But before I do that, I want to still show you how to set it up, because a lot of people don't really know how to do that. So stay with me. Now, when you're setting up the blade, you see it's this way. What you do is, the blade is very sharp, so you have put a protective plastic cover on it. Don't take it out when you're setting it up. Don't take it out when you are setting the blade up. Reason is that it may cut you because it's very, very sharp. Okay, so as it is like this, okay, just insert this one in it like this. Yep, just insert it like this, and that is all. Then when you are done setting it up like this, then that's when you remove this protective shields on the blade. And when you're removing, please be very careful. I've witnessed a client having a cut with this blade before. So this is how the blade is set up. Then you insert it inside the bowl. All right. Before you insert, of course, check to see that the knot here in the bowl have been tightened. Then you insert this inside the bowl like this. You're done setting up your blade. Okay. The next thing you do is to put this cover on it gently. So everything is set up and ready to go. All right. Then when you're ready to mash, just put on your motor. Let it sit properly. Don't let it just be hanging. Okay. So that is all. You have set up your fufu machine or yam powder. Another thing that comes with a package is this. Okay. It's meant for you, to clean the blade with it. So when you are done and you want to clean the blade, you can just use this one to wipe off the leftover on the blade. So that is it. Please, I'll plead with you, don't throw away these protective covers. Anytime you are done pounding, put them back on the blade. Reason is, somebody may go, maybe your kids or something, maybe your kids or somebody else can go and touch the blade and then it will cut them. So when you're done using the machine, put these on the blade. Right. Now, let's get started. What are the things you need to prepare your fufu? Number one, this is my electric cooking pot. You have done a video of this for you already, so you can, if you want to check a video of that, again, I'm going to put a link up there for you to check. All right, so this is an electric cooking pot. We have cooked our cassava, you see it? And we have cooked our plantain. All right, so we are going to do fufu using cassava and plantain. Nicely cooked. We have said that don't let it be too cold, neither should you make it too hot. So when you're done cooking it, take your time, let it cool down a little bit. Then you can now begin to mash. You also need water. So I have my water here, and I have a ladle here to collect the food into the bowl. All right, so these are the things you need. Now, I told you earlier on that the machine is 3,500 watts. In our previous videos, I told you that anytime you want to use an extension board, check the wattage of the extension board. Because if the machine's wattage is too bigger than that of the extension board, you may affect the machine. All right, so the best of it all is to have a dedicated wall socket where you plug it directly to the wall. In our previous videos, if you have been following us, you have done a video of that. Okay, so if only you can, if you apply it in your kitchen, try and plug this directly on the wall, because that one you can have the maximum power that you need for the machine. But here, where the power socket is very far away, so I'm using an extension board which is the same as that of the machine. All right, so take note of that. Anytime you're using an extension board for the machine, read on it. You can check it from the down here, at the back here, or on top. You can check to see the wattage of the extension board and be sure it is the same, or this one has a higher wattage than the machine. All right, so let's do that. All right, so what you do is to start with the plantain. I'm going to start with the plantain because that is harder than the cassava. Okay, so I'll collect my plantain in it, but of course you can also decide to break it down into pieces. All right, cut them to pieces before you put them in, but I know the machine can do the magic, so I'm going to put in my plantain. What some people do is they put the plantain and the cassava all at once. Please, I don't encourage that. Do the plantain separately from the cassava because the plantain is harder. All right, so you cover it this way. Then, of course, before you cover it, sprinkle some water. Okay, because of course, if you are using your mortar and pestle, you would have still put in some water. All right, so sprinkle some water in it so that the machine can take it from there. Okay, then you can now cover it nicely. Put in the motor. When I put in the motor, you can see that it's not firmly put in. Make sure it has entered properly, firmly, before you can say you are ready. Then I'm going to connect my power. Now, just like I told you, this one has 3 buttons, unlike the previous one that had 2 buttons. This one has 3 buttons. What it means is that this one has speed 1, speed 2, then speed number 3. So this one gives you far more higher speed than the previous one. Now, whenever you're applying it, ensure that your hand has firmly held the handle here, because the speed is very high, the machine is very fast, so if you don't take care, it will try to kind of shake in your hands. All right, so please hold it firmly, then start with the speed 1. What I encourage, or what I teach, is that press on the speed 1 3 times, press on the speed 2 3 times, press on the speed 3 3 times, then check to see if your food is mashed to the level you want it. So let's go. So you press on speed 1, 2, like 3 times. Let's go to speed 2. 3 times. Let's go to speed 3. That's it. All right. So when you're done with that, check to see if it has matched the level you want it, and look at it in the video. Okay, you can see that it has matched, but not completely like we want it, not as smooth as we want it. So we can now start the whole thing again from speed 1 to speed 3. But again, you can see again that it needs some water. If you have done fufu with a mortar and pestle, you understand what I mean. So try and put water in. Don't let it be too dry. Okay, put water in so that the machine can take over from there. I'm putting a small amount of water, but in different quantities. All right. So now let's go again. From speed 1 to speed 3. Again, when you put it in, make sure it has firmly put in. Put your hand on the motor, on the base, grip it properly. Now let's go 3 times. Let's go with the speed 2. Let's go with the speed 3. Now, let's check to see if we are good to go. And again, as you can see, it's getting there. All right, it's not still as smooth. It has molded it, but not as smooth as we want it. But see something, please. This is an educational video. All right. So anything I see, I want to teach you. You can see, if only you can see clearly. Okay, you can see that the blade is almost removing. Now, why is it like that? Now, if I don't work on it and I proceed, what you observe is that the motor will try to jump out of your hand. All right, with a strong force. Why is the blade trying to remove? It's a small trick. Let's take out the blade and see. The blade is trying to remove because the thing is folding up, and sometimes you see leftovers inside the blade here. Okay, so all that you have to do is to check if there are leftovers inside. Use a small, stick or something like that to remove it. Okay, but in this case, there's no leftover inside. It's just that it's molding, and that's why the blade was shaking and trying to remove it. So what you have to do is to collect the food from it, put back the blade, and then put back the food again. Then you are good to go. All right. So let me collect the food out. Right. So I just have to collect it out. It's almost done, but I want it very smooth, very smooth than it is now. So I'll do it again. But again, like I told you, the blade was removing. Be checking all these things. The blade was removing, and so we have to ensure the blade is back in. So after collecting the food, insert the blade back in. Again, when you are inserting, just be mindful that there are no leftovers on it, so the blade can be free. I've collected everything from the bowl. So insert the blade, and again, before you insert, check if leftovers have gone inside this hole here. There's none. So insert it nicely. Then put the food back in the bowl, but in units. Don't put everything at once. Okay? Put them in units. Like I said, it has mashed nicely, but I want it very smooth, so that when I'm doing the last, which is the mixing, it will be easy for me. Okay? Again, sprinkle some water. Water is necessary in this procedure. Cover it nicely. Make sure it has gripped perfectly. Now we're going to go again from speed 1 to speed 3. All right. So let's see. Now it is very, very smooth. Okay, very, very smooth. So I just have to remove the blade gently. Again, whenever you're removing the blade, be very, very careful. So remove the blade gently. Then I'm going to collect all my cassava. See how smooth it has been. Okay, So I'm going to collect all my cassava, my plantain out of the bowl. Then I'm going with the cassava. Now, this one plantain, very, very smooth. Very, very smooth. Okay. So I'm done with the plantain. I've collected them out of the bowl. I'm going to do the cassava. Right. So before I go into the cassava, please, this is where I also encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. All right. If you are loving the video, please subscribe to the channel, share the video, like the video, and then let other people benefit from this. All right. Now, before you go to the second part, which is the cassava, check your motor to see if it is becoming hot. At this moment, I can tell you it is very cold. That tells you that the machine has not been stressed. You can still proceed. Okay. If you check and yours is hot, please halt and let the machine cool down. But I'm good to go. So let me go with the cassava. Now, insert your blade. When you're inserting, check to see there are no leftovers inside there. Okay, inside here. There are no leftovers inside here. So insert the blade nicely. Then put in the cassava, but make sure you don't have any root inside there. Because these things will cause lumps. Okay. Yeah, so I think the rest are good to go. All right, again, the same procedure after collecting the cassava. So now this thing is empty right now. Ensure you have water, adequate water. All right, sprinkle water in it, because if you're using mortar and pestle at home, you'd have still used water. Okay, now cover it nicely. One thing I can tell you is that mashing the cassava is easier than mashing the plantain. Okay, so grip it nicely, ensure the motor is firmly in it. Start from speed 1 again, 3 times. Let me go to speed 2. Let me go to speed 3. Okay, then you check the state of it. Again, you can see it has nicely mashed it. But it's about to get molded. All right, again, what I taught you is check to see that there are no leftovers inside the blade. Okay, so now again, the same procedure. You remove to insert the blade back. Anytime you remove the blade and you want to insert it back, what you have to do is remove all the food, collect all the food from the bowl, collect everything from the bowl. Okay, put in the blade, ensure that there are no leftovers in the hole here. Put in the blade and then cut the food back in pieces. Anytime you remove the blade, that's what you have to do. Okay, sprinkle water. Water is needed. Water is always needed in this procedure. Cover it nicely. Put in the motor, and we are starting with speed 1 again. 3 times each. Speed 1. Speed 2. You can see that it's moving inside there. This is where you have to make sure you have gripped it nicely. Don't be putting your hand on it in a loose way. It's the way it would shake your hand off. Okay, so make sure your hand has been gripped on it perfectly. Speed 3. All right. Then we check the state of it, and I can tell you it is smooth. It has mashed it very, very smooth. All right. So if it's not still as smooth as you want it, it means you have to do it again. All right. And so to do it again, just ensure that, because then it may be leftovers inside the blade. So again, this is a procedure that you need time to do. So to do it again, if it's not as smooth as you want it, collect everything back. But this is very smooth. Okay, but I still want to make it smoother. So collect everything. You are not only concerned about leftovers inside the hole here, but you are also concerned about leftovers around, okay, around the pin in which the blade going to enter. All right. So if there are leftovers in it, let me use my hand to make sure that place is really cleaned. So just here, this one, okay, just make sure that place is really, really cleaned, because that's where the blade is turning around. The blade is spinning around. So if there are leftovers around it, it will choke the blade, and then the machine will have issues. It will try to move your hand. All right. So insert the blade again, and you can see the blade is moving smoothly. All right. And then collect the foot back. If you want it smoother than it has been, and again, that's how I want it. I want it smoother. When you're done, cover it nicely. Put in your machine. Make sure it has firmly entered. Put your hand firmly on the thing. Start from speed 1. Start from speed 1. 3 times. Now, the reason why this time I didn't do it 3 times, 3 times, 3 times. When I did the first one, I realized that it's heavy in my hand. The reason was that it's already molded. That's why I did it 1, 1, 1. Let me do another 1, 1, 1. Last one, 1, 1, 1 each. All right. Now see how smooth it is. Very, very smooth. And then you can see what I'm talking about. See that the food have surrounded the blade. If you keep on doing it, you realize that you'll be trying to move your hand. Again, that's why I did it 1, 1, 1. Speed 1, 1, speed 2, 1, speed 3, 1. I did it that 3 times. And it's as smooth as you like it. So this is how smooth it is. Very, very smooth. You don't see any lump in it. Okay. In Cree language, we call it Aba. You don't see anything inside. Very, very smooth. Very, very smooth. All right. One thing I realized when I was collecting it is that it is better to use your hand, because you can really, really clean where the blade is. And see, you can see a lot of leftovers in the blade, the hole there. Okay, you can see a lot of leftovers in there, so we have to remove them. All right. So I'm going to use the pen top, all right, to remove the leftovers in there. And you can see what I'm talking about. All right. there are a lot of leftovers in there. If you don't remove it, the effect is that when you're in the machine, you realize that the motor is trying to move your hand in a strong force, and then the machine may fall down because of that. So always be checking if there are leftovers in there, especially when in the beginning you don't see that, but as you go along and then it's getting molded, that's where you see those leftovers in there. Now, as to the mixing, which is mixing both the cassava and then the plantain. In the mixing, the advice is that don't put everything in at once. So this is all the cassava. This is all the cassava. This is all the plantain. Don't put everything at once, okay? Mix them separately. So we are going to divide the plantain into two. Put them in small units so that the machine will do the mixing for us. By the time the machine will put them together as one, it shall be mixed, okay? That's why we did them separately, to ensure that they were on their own. But let me tell you this, after the mixing, you would have to check the blade again to see if the leftovers have gone inside there. That is the issue with this machine. You always have to be checking. You always have to be checking. Okay? So I'm going to mix. I've divided the plantain that we did into two. I divided the cassava into two. And then I've put them in. Sprinkle water. At this moment, I've already used my hand, so I'm going to continue like that. So you sprinkle some water in it. Okay? So when I put them in, this is how it became. I cut the plantain into small units, and I cut the cassava too into small units. Okay? So cover it nicely. Put your motor in. Ensure it has really gripped. Now put your hand firmly on it. Let's start with speed 1. Speed 2. Speed 3. All right. The purpose is not to make it soft. The purpose is to mix it and see how it has done. Nicely mixed. All right. So that's how you go with the mixing. So this one is nicely mixed. We are done. We're going to go with the second batch. Nicely mixed for you. So the mixing procedure is not to soften the fufu. If you want to soften it, do it during the time you were doing your cassava separately and you're doing your plantain separately. But when you get to the mixing time, it is just to cut them into pieces small, and then mix it together. Okay? So you have mixed this. You're going to go to mix the other one. Anytime you are collecting, either you use the tool that came with it, but because I've been using this machine, I know how to collect that it doesn't cut me. So please be mindful of the blade when you're collecting the leftovers around it, so that it doesn't cut you. Okay? Nicely. Then check leftovers in there. There are some leftovers in there. Check and remove them. Always necessary. Always necessary. Take it from me. If you don't do that, you'll be using the machine and then it will fall off your hand in a strong speed. Okay? So get a tool. At this moment, I'm using a pen. So always get a tool that will be you'll be using to collect those leftovers in there. Then also ensure that the leftovers around the pin in the bowl has also been cleared. So that place is also cleared. Put the machine, the motor, the blade back in. Let's mix the second batch. This is just mixing. This is not to make it soft or whatever. You have already done that. So whatever you need to do Whether you want to smoothen it or soften it, do that before you get to the mixing. Because at the mixing, you are only mixing the plantain and the cassava together. Cut the cassava into small pieces. Cut your plantain also into small pieces. And then put them around. Don't put them at one place. Just disperse them around the bowl. Like that. Sprinkle some small amount of water. And then you are good to go. Cover it nicely. Put in your motor. Make sure the motor has firmly gripped. Now I can tell you at this moment the motor is beginning to become a little bit hot. It's beginning. It has not become hot yet. I can feel some hotness inside. You can see that there's no smoke. If you follow this procedure, you will always be enjoying your fufu. It will not smoke. All right. Now let me go again from speed 1 to speed 3, 3 times each in the mixing. Speed 2. Speed 3. They're done. Nicely mixed in there. Okay. So that is that. At this moment in Ghana, we call our potoria, some people call it asanka or any other name. You can use it to mold your thing nicely, and then you're ready to serve. Okay, so I've done fufu from start to finish with no issues to the motor, no issues. Okay, you can be molding the thing nicely, like you have been doing. In Ghana, I don't know how it's done in other countries. So because we know this channel has viewers from all over, so I don't know how you do it in your country. But this is Fufu Machine or yam pounder. We did the cassava separately, we did the plantain separately, and then we mix it together. Okay, so this is how we do it. You can see that this one can be for one person or for 2 people. That's how this machine did it. If you want, this is 6 liters, all right? This is 6 liters. If you want it for a larger family, then you need to buy the 12 level liters, all right? So this is it. We are done with our fufu from start to finish, and I can tell you the motor is cold. It's not as hot. No smoke. It didn't smoke. It didn't burn, nothing. Because the extension that was used has bigger watts, as close as the machine. I've told you, if the machine is 3,500 watts and you want to use extension, use an extension that is the same watt or higher, or plug it directly on the wall. The second is that we have told you, don't overload the machine. All right, you saw how we're cutting some of them into pieces. We did the cassava separately, we did the plantain separately. We mixed them together. In the mixing, we divided the cassava into 2, divided the plantain into 2, and cut them into pieces. Mixed the first part, we finished, we went to the second part and mixed it. And now we have our fufu nicely done. This is Fufu Machine. But the last tip I want to give to those of you who have been watching till now is that originally, this product was not a fufu machine. It's meant for meat chopping, for vegetable chopping. Somehow, someone used it to do fufu and it worked. And all of a sudden, everyone is calling it Fufu Machine. So if you want to use it, follow the procedure we are teaching you perfectly. Okay? This is where I want the video. My name is Emmanuel and this is Multi Shopping YouTube channel. Our dedication is to do videos for you. All right? Videos of the product we sell here at Multi Shopping. The one that we believe you must have a video of how it is used. All right? So if you want us to do a video of a particular product that we know we sell here, just give us a comment and then we'll find time and do it for you. All right, we have a lot of videos to do, so please subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified anytime you post a video. Share the video for us, like it, and comment anytime you want to. All right, this is Multi Shopping. Stay tuned for more. Bye bye.
Monkey.